Have you ever felt like when playing CMF DMF, the game just doesn't flow? The passes don't connect and the play feels clunky? Well, let me tell you, maybe you haven't fully understood the orchestrator yet. Today, we're going to dive deep into how the orchestrator playing style works in eFootball. Why is it perfect for certain tactics and styles? And how can we use it to make the most out of our game? What is an orchestrator in eFootball? The word orchestrator literally means the person who leads the orchestra or the conductor. In the context of eFootball, it refers to a midfielder who positions himself a bit deeper and controls the tempo of the game from the middle of the pitch. He's not a player who makes penetrating runs, not a player who charges into the box to finish. Instead, he positions himself where he can see the entire game and then gradually distributes the ball to the left, right, or pushes it forward smoothly. In-game behavior. What does the orchestrator actually do? A lot of players feel like the orchestrator is too slow or passive. Some even hesitate to put him in the squad because it feels like he slows down the play. But here's the truth. The orchestrator isn't built to be running around like a box-to-box or making late runs into the box like an AMF. He's made to control the tempo. That's his whole purpose. Key traits of the orchestrator on the pitch. He usually holds a slightly deeper position, right in the center of the pitch. He picks up the ball from the back line and then distributes it, sideways or forward, with precision. He doesn't push too far forward because that would leave the midfield exposed and vulnerable to counters. So instead of charging in, he stays calm and focuses on maintaining control. He's perfect for formations that focus on build-up play and ball retention. But if your play style is all about fast counters, I'll be honest, the orchestrator might not be your guy. Let's break it down. How does the orchestrator move off the ball? Attacking phase off the ball. The orchestrator doesn't make runs in behind, doesn't crowd the striker, and doesn't break into the box. He tends to float around the middle of the pitch or sit in a slightly deeper zone. He waits for the right moment and positions himself perfectly to receive the pass. His biggest strength? He reads the game brilliantly. When a teammate drives forward, he finds the open space and gets ready to support. He stays out of the way of attacking runs, giving strikers and wingers more room to operate. If you're using a 4-3-3 or 4-2-1-3, you'll clearly see how the orchestrator brings calm to the midfield. Once he receives the ball, he can smoothly switch it wide or deliver a smart pass to the forward line. In-game example, take Modric, for instance. It's super clear. As the ball moves forward, he drops into the middle to pick it up and continues the play with elegance. He doesn't explode forward like Bellingham or Bruno. Instead, he positions himself perfectly to keep the rhythm going, and that's key in a possession-focused style. Defensive phase off the ball. So what happens when your team loses possession? What does the orchestrator do? He's not a relentless ball chaser. He's not Vieira or Conte charging into every duel. Instead, he positions himself just behind the first pressing line, like behind a box-to-box midfielder or a winger who's pushed up. From there, he focuses on reading the play, cutting off passing lanes, and making it harder for the opponent to advance. If the ball gets past the first line of pressure, the orchestrator steps in to pick up the second ball or apply light pressure to delay the attack before it reaches the defensive line. He doesn't dive in like a destroyer, but his defensive style brings more structure and control, especially in formations that don't rely on high pressing. Example, if your team gets hit on a fast break, the orchestrator won't blindly chase the ball. Instead, he drops back, holds his position, and shields the space in front of the back line. That gives your defenders time to recover and reorganize. It might not look flashy, but it's incredibly important. That calm positioning keeps your entire system balanced. This kind of behavior, both in attack and defense, makes the orchestrator perfect for players who love controlling the tempo. He's not for speedsters or aggressive pressers, but if you're looking for a calm, visionary, and rhythm-focused midfield game, the orchestrator is absolutely a must-have in your team. how to use the Orchestrator effectively. All right, let's talk about how to actually make the Orchestrator work in your squad. A lot of players put him in the lineup and feel like he slows things down, the game loses flow, or they get hit too easily on the counter. And often that's because the balance around him isn't set up properly. 1. Pair him with a midfielder who can run. First of all, the Orchestrator isn't a runner. He doesn't go box to box. He doesn't cover tons of ground. So you need someone who can run for him. That could be a box to box or an anchor man. The box to box will push forward, press aggressively, and provide energy. The anchor man stays deep and covers behind, protecting the backline. For example, if you use Luka Modric as your Orchestrator and pair him with Declan Rice, the balance will be perfect. One controls the tempo and the other brings the physical presence. It creates a well-balanced midfield. 2. Don't use two Orchestrators at the same time. This one's really common. A lot of players think if one Orchestrator controls the game well, maybe using two will make it even more stable. But in reality, it becomes too stable. The ball doesn't move, the game feels stuck, because both players are just standing there waiting for the pass. No one's making forward runs, no one's pressing, and there's no energy in the midfield. The result? Your entire game loses its spark. Trust me, stick with just one Orchestrator and pair him with a midfielder who plays a different style. That contrast will give your team way better balance. 3. Don't use with fast counter tactics. Another important thing to watch out for, the Orchestrator playstyle is not suitable for quick counter-attacking systems. If you're using quick counter or long ball counter, putting an Orchestrator in your lineup will definitely slow things down. When your team wins the ball, instead of making forward runs like a whole player or box to box, the Orchestrator will look for a spot to receive the ball and pause the play. It stands still, which disrupts the rhythm of your counterattack. If you want to play fast, this playstyle is not recommended. 4. Best formations for Orchestrator. So, what kind of formation actually suits the Orchestrator playstyle? I recommend these 3: 4-3-3, 4-2-1-3, and 4-1-4-1. All of them include multiple central midfielders, which means the Orchestrator won't have to carry the tempo alone. This gives him the freedom to fully focus on his role as a deep-lying playmaker, controlling the rhythm, switching the play, or holding the ball to give attackers more time and space to operate. 5. Use him as a pivot to control and change the game's rhythm. The Orchestrator doesn't speed up the game, but he's the one who reads the tempo better than anyone on the pitch. When your attack stalls or you face a compact defensive setup, you can pass the ball back to him. He'll calmly spread it out to the left or right, or if a gap opens up, deliver a precise through ball to the striker. That's what we call controlling the game. Not fast, but accurate. The flow becomes smoother when you use him the right way. So if you want to make the Orchestrator work, build your system around him. Have supporting players to press, provide cover, and use a possession-based setup. You'll see a clear difference in how calm and controlled your midfield becomes. Comparison with other playing styles. Let's start with box to box. This type runs up and down the pitch all game, helping in attack and defense. The strength, super versatile, but not always the best at controlling the rhythm of the game. Sometimes the pace is too quick, or they drive the ball forward a bit too aggressively. So if you want a midfielder full of energy who can press and cover the whole field, this is your guy. But if you need someone to slow the game down and keep it composed, the Orchestrator is much better at that. Next, we have the anchor man. This player stays deep, right in front of the center backs. Their main role is to clean up second balls and block attacks. They don't push forward and they're not built for ball distribution. Great for teams that want a strong defensive base, but if you ask them to control the flow or shift the tempo, chances are they'll struggle. So where does the Orchestrator fit in? Right in the middle between these two. He doesn't run relentlessly like a box-to-box, and he doesn't sit ultra deep like an anchorman. Instead, he finds smart spaces in the middle of the pitch and connects the play. He focuses on balance and has the vision to pass accurately and control tempo. Think players like Xavi, Pirlo, or Modric. They command the entire midfield with just one touch. If you're looking for a midfielder who's precise in passing, great at controlling tempo, and stays deep without... If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss more in-depth breakdowns like this. See you in the next video, and thanks for watching all the way through.